Welcome back to the Blazor Server in-depth course. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at reading from our data. So we've got a database. We actually have data in it now, just one record, but we have at least one record. We can add more. And now we want to see how we can display that data to the user. So let's do that by going back to our code. And let's create a page for displaying data or reading data. Raise a component, and we said create person, so read people. It's probably better. It's not the best term, but at least it gets you, we're going to do create, read, update, and delete. I want to make clear what these are, so read people I think is fine. At page, read people. And we're also going to put in the layout, we'll put the read people. So read people, and for the link, we can't have a person again. So let's see if we have a book. There's a book. So now we have our link in place, and we have our read people page. Let's bring in our list. So we need to have a private list of type iPerson model. And we need to create a new method here called public async task of type list of iPerson model. Read people. And again, no parameters. We're going to get every person from the list. We could throw in a filter here and filter it by a certain thing, but for this example, this is just fine. So now what we can do is say return await data access dot load data, and we give a type. So we're going to give it a type of person model, and the U type with parameters is dynamic. I'm going to explain why we're getting it person model, not iPerson model, in just a minute. So we're going to say we have a store procedure, dbo.sp people underscore read, which you don't have yet. We're going to pass in new empty object and SQLDB for our connection string name. But it says, hey, you can't do that. If you mouse over, it says cannot implicitly convert type list of person model to list of iPerson model. Well, no problem. What we can do is we can say var people equals and assign that value. And let's reformat this line. So quick actions refactoring, wrap all arguments. There we go. Now our line's not quite so long. And then down here, we can say return. We can cast this to list of iPerson model people. And whoops, that won't work. I forgot because we have a list of iPerson model. That's going to be a problem, but no worries. To list control dot to add the using system.link. But it's a list of iPersonModel. And that's going to convert it. So I'll create a new list, but it's converting it to a list of iPersonModel. We can return that. Okay? So a little bit of a hiccup along the way, but that allows it to convert to our interface and then return that. We're doing a wait here so we can pause or let the system keep the UI thread going, even though we're loading up potentially a lot of records. But now we have read people. I'm going to control dot here, and I'm going to pull read people up to iPerson data service. I'm going to put that in the interface essentially. So now if you look, the interface has the read people as well, which means that we can't go off here. We got to create this first. But it means we can call the read people right here, and that should work. Okay? We need to create this people read. So I'll copy this, and then we will go to our database, store procedures, add, new store procedure. We're going to give us a name of sppeople_read. We have no parameters. And what we're going to do is we'll say begin, end, select. I'm going to do select star from dbo.people. Now, select star, we don't want to leave it that way, but we can right-click on this, say refactor. All right, so now we have the read people loading the people list asynchronously in the onParameters set async. And we can do is we can say, let's start with an if here. If people equals null. So if we have not yet loaded this, then we can say, let's do an h4 loading ... else, oops, spell it right, else, and this is where we're going to put a table. So let's create a table, if I can spell it right, and then in here what we'll do is we're going to give it some classes to make it look a little nicer. So class equals table, and then table striped. And then we'll have a t head. This is the header row, which we're going to, again, I like to have the t head dark version. Inside here, we'll have a row, tr, and then a th for a header column. And we'll say the value here is going to be ID. And then we'll do, I'm just going to copy and paste this a few more times. First name, last name, and date of birth. First name, last name, and date of birth. All right, those are our columns. And then we'll have our T body. And for our body, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a for each. And this is where we're going to say for each P in people. So for every person, we're going to create a row here. So TR for row, and then TD, and this will be at p.id. And again, I'll copy and paste this like so. and this one will be for first name, and this one will be for last name, and this one will be for date of birth. Okay, so there's our 4 values right now, and that should be it. So we've got this list of people. It's going to say loading until they actually are loaded. Once they're loaded in this onParameter set by reading the people, then it's going to fill in this table. Let's see this in action and make sure it works. So I'm going to hit Blazor app and run this. Wait for it to load. Kestrel is starting up. And now our app is starting up. So we have read people, and there we go. If you noticed real quick, maybe you can pause the video and see it, it did show the loading just briefly. So that really wasn't that hard. Once we got the couple things set up, we have data to a page. Now let's add another person here, Sue Storm. We're going to add the same date because I'm lazy and don't want to change it. Create the person, read the people, and now notice we have 2 people in this list. Okay? So now that we have read done, that's really it for this video. We've covered all that we need to for that second part of CRUD. We've got create, now we've got read. So next we can do is work on the update. All right? But for right now, practice what you've learned, try it out, make sure that you have your reading from the database and that it's displaying a page correctly, and then move on to the next video.